Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast with Bob from the Challenge Championship. We're brought to you by Master Spas, Hyperice, Form Smart Swim Goggles, UCAN, HOKA on a Class USA, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest from Germany, Mr. Frederic Funk. How are you, Frederic?
Thanks, Bob. I'm very honored to be here. First time, obviously, and yeah, I'm good.
Love it. And you've had, in 2021, you've had a good year. You won Challenge Walchsee and Challenge St. Polten. That's two good wins.
Yeah, it was really good. It was, I think, my two best races of my career so far, with strong fields. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm now going into the weekend with two great races.
With a lot of confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
and then you got into the sport how long ago?
I actually got born into the sport already because my parents both are doing it for over 30 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So were they doing Ironman stuff or the shorter stuff?
Yeah, more the Ironman stuff. They were also like time where they were actually racing as pros, but the main
they raced as pros?
The main reason for that was that they could start in first row.
We were just talking about that. I was just talking with Fenella, and we were talking about how when you know, was it Fenella? Maybe it was somebody else. But we were talking about when she finished the race and in Las Vegas when it was the 70.3 World Championships, and she was racing as an age grouper, and she could hear Leanna Cave doing her acceptance speech, right? And she had to run the half marathon still. And so she's like, I think I'm going to go pro just so I can go off earlier. And I could go pro back in the day just by signing up, and that's what your parents probably did too.
Yeah, and yeah, my mom was in second place at Challenge Road in 2003.
Oh, what's your mom's name?
Frederic Funk.
Frederic Funk. Okay, I don't know if I know her, but yeah, I love Challenge Roth. That's a special event.
Yeah, at the same year I did already my first triathlon when I was still 5 years old.
Wait. You did your first triathlon when you were 5?
Yes, it was like 50 meters swimming, 2 or 3K on the bike, and then just running from transition straight to the finish.
That is fun. So, but did you know early on that the sport was really special for you?
That way for sure, but I think I just started to appreciate it more when I got some more success in my youth years. Yes. And got also into the national squad and decided to do it more professional. Right.
And was the goal to get to the Olympics?
It was the goal for sure. In the early years, I always did a lot of ITU racing, yes. Of course. Also was at the Junior World Champs in 2016 in Cozumel.
Yes.
And but probably I was just too impatient on the distance. I think I could have done better if I would have just stayed on it and just worked myself up in the ranking and that stuff. But I was too impatient, and I was always a good cyclist. Was always my best. And well, on the ITU races, you can't show it how you want to.
You can't show your bike. No.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, that's why I decided to do more non-drafting stuff. Started with Olympic distance, and then later on also my first half distance in 2018.
Yes.
And I immediately got on my first year on the half distance. I did 4, and on all I was on the podium.
Yeah, 4 races, 4 podiums.
Yes.
Yeah, and then follow that with 2019 win Ironman Lanzarote, or 70.3 Lanzarote.
Yeah, that was my first pro win after multiple podiums, and and that's how my journey on the half distance began. And
so what's hard is you're on a roll. You win four podiums in a row, and then you win 70.3 Lanzarote 19, and the world shuts down.
Yeah. Right?
When you're ready to go 20 and go big and go to 70.3 Worlds and all that type of stuff. Now, did you go to 70.3 Worlds in 19?
No, and 2019 not yet. Ironman St. Lanzarote was actually just my second Ironman 70.3.
Yeah.
Before I did mostly like the Challenge family races.
Yes.
But the main reason, because also they're like easier to reach, most of them,
yes,
like in Europe, yeah.
That's right.
And yeah, so I qualified for Taupo in 2020, and that should have been my first 70 World Championship, but now it's going to be St. George in 3 weeks.
So you'll be in St. George?
Yeah, for sure.
Very fun. That'll be cool. Now, have you raced much in the U.S.?
Just Daytona last year.
Okay,
yeah.
And what was that Daytona experience like for you?
It was amazing. It was like, of course, like the first huge race from the PTO, and everyone was there. Everyone was fit after, and everyone was fierce to race after this year without any races. And so yeah, it was an amazing experience, and my racing wasn't too bad either.
How'd you do?
I was 17th.
That's not in that field.
Yeah,
you had like 50, 60 guys, some of the best in the world, most of the best in the world.
I think I could have done better if I had more racing before, because I'm the kind of guy who gets better from race to race.
Yes.
But I was satisfied with it, and yeah, now we are back in race mode. And
exactly. That's very cool. So you'll go to 70.3 Worlds. And then have anything planned for, will you stay in the States and do some other things, or head back home?
I come back to Europe and probably do some more challenge family races, because there's this challenge bonus ranking.
Oh, there you go. And obviously the race on Sunday is part of the bonus.
Exactly, yes.
Very cool. And now are your parents still racing?
My dad is racing as well, actually, on Sunday.
He is? Yeah. That is fun.
And he's also coming with me to St. George and race there as well.
Your dad's qualified for St. George?
Yes, he actually also qualified at the 70.3 Lanzarote. It was also fun because it was my first pro win, and it was 4 laps on the run, and on the last lap, I actually lapped him right before the finish, and I could tell him like that I will win the race, and obviously that was quite motivating for him for the rest of his race, and so he also won his age group there and qualified for the 70.3 World, so we go together to the US.
Well, and what's great about that, Lanzarote is probably one of the hardest races around, right? That's hilly and windy and all of that.
For sure, especially in that day, it was that windy that the swim had to get cancelled.
Oh my God.
So it was only a bike and run, just no duathlon, so basically we started in front.
Like a time trial type of thing?
In front of the first transition. And was like 30 pro men running straight to their bikes, and it was chaos in the beginning.
Oh my God, that is wild. They almost would have been safer just having you start on the bikes and do like a bike. Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
that is wild.
But
so
the wind separated it really quickly.
What's great about that is that race is a great setup for St. George, because St. George is a hilly, hard, windy, type of race too.
Yeah, I love it. I love windy. Hilly, like everything which makes the bike even harder.
Yeah, and so moving forward, do you have some thoughts on what you want to do in 2022? Probably go back to St. George.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the 70.3 Worlds and overall the distance remains my goal for the next 2 years minimum, before I think about going for the
no rush.
Exactly. Yes.
In this day and age, you can make a living as a 70.3 athlete.
Yeah, I think it gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, and also now, of course, there's also
PTO
the Collins Cup.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the goal for the next years.
You know what? I think this is sort of, we're getting into a golden age of triathlon, because you've got Super League, the Daytona, the Clash races, Daytona, Miami. They're adding a couple of more racetracks. Obviously, what PTO is doing, this is a good time for a young man to be doing this sport as a professional.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it. Frederic, thank you so much for taking time. Really a pleasure to get to meet you, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Frederic Funk has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob from the Challenge Championship. Hold on. We'll be right back.